Welcome to the County Manager's Report. I'm Lloyd Higuera, and with me is County Manager Larry Werner, and welcome, Larry.
Thank you, Lloyd.
I didn't see your shadow with you today. That's Brad Hurley, the new Assistant County Manager.
That's true.
And you didn't bring him along.
As I drove up, I thought, I didn't bring Brad. So
we'll catch him next time.
Yes.
Yeah. But how's it going with the new Assistant County Manager?
Really well. Brad has come in, just ball of fire, understands a lot of the mechanics of stuff, hasn't worked for local government and doesn't understand some of the nuances that we're working through, but a lot of good ideas. Just it's nice to be able to kind of say, hey, you know, we're dealing with this project and you mind picking that one up and running with it, and boy, it's off and going.
And nice to have somebody to bounce things off of, too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So. Well, I'm glad that's all working out. We'll look forward to talking to Brad a little bit on here on the County Manager's Report sometime soon.
Yeah, I'm going to be gone the month of October, so...
Well, maybe we'll get him in November. He's going to be around a while.
We'll bring him right in, yeah.
Okay. Well, looking at the Board of Commissioners meeting for the month of September, commissioners at that meeting approved two $50,000 contributions from the Unanticipated Capital Projects Infrastructure Fund to clear debris from the Cradlebaugh Slough Bridge, and also the Lutheran Bridge on Centerville Lane.
Right. An application was filed by the Carson Valley Conservation District with the state of Nevada that under their clearing and snagging funds.
Clearing and snagging. I love that.
Yeah. And they were looking for participation to meet the local match, and we agreed that we'd fund $50,000 each on those. The Carson Water Subconservancy also contributed, as well as did Nevada Department of Transportation, to make up the local match. I think the total program on one bridge was about $207,000, and the other one was 190-some thousand, and that has to be a 50% match. So we helped make up both of those.
Well, at $50,000 each, we're getting quite a bargain there.
We are. It's something that really needs to be done, and this is a good opportunity to do it. And with the Carson Valley Conservation District, yes, you know, they kind of know how to work with that stuff, and so it all made sense.
Was that a result of our hectic winter? And
it was. A lot of materials were deposited in front of these two bridges, and that reduces the capacity underneath them, which then come this next year, if we have similar rainfall events, then we'll have problems with, by cleaning it, hopefully we'll mitigate some of that. So.
Okay, well, very good. Also at the meeting, commissioners approved an interfund loan from the construction fund not to exceed $400,000, and this would be to fund the East Side Utilities project at the Minden Tahoe Airport, and commissioners also approved for the airport a contract in the amount of $1,391,919 for the installation of water lines and sanitary sewer utilities on the east side of the Minden Tahoe Airport. So a lot of activity out there.
There is. Bobby Thompson is doing an excellent job of managing that airport and getting the facility up to the point where she can get additional hangar leases in and different kind of programs. Under this particular item, she actually has the money in her budget, but a portion of it was locked up in reserves, and under state law we can't spend money out of reserves, but we can budget it for the following year. So in this case, we're going to get the project going, and she was the $400,000 short of being able to enter that contract. So we'll borrow the money from ourselves, and then come July 1st we'll pay ourselves back out of her reserves. So it's kind of just it's a process.
It's a loan thing.
Yes, yeah. It costs the county no money. But it gets the project going.
Well, the airport really doesn't cost the county any money. I mean, it's self-sufficient.
Not at all. They, in fact, the county makes money off the airport even after paying for all the improvements that Bobby's putting in out there. So
okay, well,
very
excellent.
Nice deal.
Also, commissioners discussed and then decided to continue the discussion on a contract for the preparation and implementation of the Douglas County Stormwater Utility, and that discussion will take place and be continued here in the Valley. So this one keeps getting continued.
We're thinking about making it a routine item on every.
Yeah, there you go.
And I think it is. It's a difficult decision for the board. They know that somehow or another we've got to start dealing with maintaining our stormwater system, that's the roadside ditches, the retention, detention ponds. Do all the activities out there to make sure the system operates correctly, particularly in light of the storms we've had over the years. The problem is figuring out how to fund it, and there's a lot of discussion whether it ought to be out of the existing funding or whether we do a utility. If we do a utility, it's very similar to a water and sewer utility, that it's actually a rate-based, in which case then you can also make adjustable rates, you can make differential rates, as opposed to like a tax, which is based on property, based on value, and it has no relationship to stormwater. So kind of an interesting program, but they're struggling with it. What they've asked to do is to go ahead and bring it up again at this next meeting. I think the concept there will be to go ahead and approve the amendment to the contract we have with House Moran Consulting to finish up the project so we can bring the total thing to the board for a discussion. I brought it to them at this point because I wasn't sure how interested they were in continuing. I keep hearing pros and cons about whether or not they're interested in doing this. So, but I think at this point they want more information. They want to be able to really narrow down exactly what kind of fees there would be, who would pay, how they would pay. So we'll go through those next steps, get that all in place, and then present it to them. Probably in another 2 to 3 months, we'll bring it back again as a complete program, and then we'll see where we go from there.
Okay, all right, so that's one definitely to watch. It was also requested that commissioners pull 2 items from the consent calendar to discuss further. After that discussion, commissioners then approved to accept 2 grants from the Nevada Community Development Block Grant Program for the town of Gardnerville and the Douglas County North Valley Wastewater Treatment Plant. Why did they pull those?
I think the reason they pulled them, they want to have more discussion about what these really were and how they were working, and how the process works. So not a problem there. We brought it in and discussed it. Yeah, the total grant was around 700 and some thousand, of which 359,000 and change goes to the town of Gardnerville for the Eagle Station renovation and that program, and then about 193,000 goes to the North Valley Treatment Plant. And with the Gardnerville one, we actually will enter into an agreement with the town of Gardnerville to manage the grant and do that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And the other one, of course, is a county project.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, very good. Commissioners approved a contract also. Well, this is a contract approving meeting, for sure, with Far West Engineering for exploratory drilling, engineering design, well drilling construction services, and bidding services for the replacement of the Wally's well in the amount of $497,100. And I assume that's Wally's Hot Springs?
It's near that area, correct.
Near that area, okay.
Yeah. There was an existing well there, and in looking at the West Valley water system, it was anticipated that there would need to be, I think there's 3 wells that are targeted to be a part of that system. It was hoping that the water we got from the town of Minden would be able to kind of meet the needs of the demand in that area, and it turns out that we're a little shy, or will be a little shy, if we don't bring it, 1 or 2 of these wells on earlier than anticipated. They were programmed to probably be in about 4 or 5 years, so we decided to go ahead and start this one now, and it is a budgeted program within the East Valley water system, but it helps bolster that West Valley side.
Okay. So this is even though it's called the Wally's well, it serves the whole area.
It does. It'll pump into the West Side pipeline, and the only reason it's called the Wally's well is so we kind of know where it's at.
Exactly. Don't want to, misplace it.
Exactly.
Commissioners approved a bid from Fisher Excavation for the Rancho's Aspen Park Playground project. That was in the amount of $173,750.
Right. This is a continuation of a program that the board approved some time ago to redo the playground equipment and the kind of the facilities, upgrade them out at the Aspen, or the Rancho's Aspen Park. So this kind of brings us to the tail end of that project, but mainly it'll be for the equipment replacement.
Oh, okay. So that pretty well covers the meeting. Let's check here on maybe a preview. Do you have a preview of any items commissioners will be considering in October?
I do. We've pretty well got it finalized. Might be 1 or 2 minor changes, but one of the things we're going to do on the presentation side of things is that the Starbucks Coffee Company and the Carson Valley Distribution Center are donating $15,000 to the the WAVE group, which is Welcome All Veterans Everywhere. And that actually is the matching money needed to complete the memorandum of understanding between the county and WAVE to construct a memorial on the courthouse, the old courthouse grounds for the veterans. So
Okay.
it's really very, very nice.
So that project might be getting underway pretty soon.
Yes, yes. And then we have the typical consent items, which are mostly the financial reporting and the different fees and stuff that we do just about at every meeting. Nothing major there. And then we have an item from the district attorney's office to discuss where the county refused to pay a bill because of some not discrepancies, but just some anomalies. And when we do that, then we have to bring that action to the Board of County Commissioners to explain why. And either they support that we don't pay that bill, or they direct us to pay it based on that conversation. It's a kind of a obscure Nevada statute, but it's that.
It's there.
It's there, right. So that's on first thing, and then we have a report from Douglas Disposal to talk about single-stream curbside recycling. They had a test pilot program, I guess that's kind of redundant, out in the Gardenville Ranchos area to see what it might cost, how much impact did it have. And this is a program where instead of segregating the different types of recyclables at the household, you put it into one container, and then that goes to the facility, and they, through equipment there, segregate the materials into plastics and aluminum and tin and that sort of thing, and glass. So that'll be a report on that, and to determine whether or not that's something that the county wishes to do, or thank you very much, it was an interesting study, or so more to come on that one by a lot. And then we have discussion on our dental insurance program that we have for employees. Currently, what we're looking at about a 5.5% raise to the users of the dental insurance, bringing that to the board. I guess that's a premium increase. And then there are 6 or 7 items on correcting, updating, modifying county policies. And a lot of these relate to personnel issues. A lot of these haven't been looked at for quite some time. So it's kind of a cleanup from the Department of Human Resources to get those up. So a lot of things on the item, but most of them are not very controversial or won't take a lot of input. And then we actually have our health insurance premium for the county coming to the board for approval, and we're actually able to negotiate a cost increase that was 6.9%. The initial estimates were around 27%.
Oh.
So sitting down with our insurance committee and working through things, some plan modifications and different things, we're actually looking at going with Hometown Health and bringing that for the board for approval. A couple follow-up items. There were some land use issues that had first readings on them in the previous meetings, and these are coming forward for the second reading. One of them has to do with the Campero propane service on the south end of Gardenville. There's been a lot of discussion on that, and it's a zone change to allow them to expand their facility. And the other one was to do a modification to the zonings in an area where a development was being proposed, and they couldn't make the sewage work on it, the sewer system work on it, so they had to redesign the lots. And in doing so, it interfered with certain types of zoning issues out there, so we're kind of correcting all that. That's more of a administrative thing than anything else. We'll have a report from Courtney Walker on the Carson River Watershed Regional Floodplain Management Plan and the Hazard Mitigation Plan that was developed by the Carson Water Subconservancy, so that'll just be a report. And then we'll bring up for second reading the issue on limiting mining and gravel pits to certain areas within the county. We're looking at changing it to a general industrial zone, which is a zone that you have to apply for specifically before it's granted. So trying to control some of the gravel pit issues that occurred out in East Valley. So I'm thinking that'll generate a pretty significant audience. And then Kathy Lewis will be presenting a her annual report on investment policy, her investment financial advisor. It's an annual report that she has to bring that before the board. And then Bentley Enterprises has requested an appeal to the decision that was made on the 18th regarding a piece of their property out in East Valley and a master plan amendment. They'd like that to have that reconsidered. And the way Nevada law works is there has to be a item for the board to determine whether or not it wants to reconsider the item. And if they approve that, then at the following meeting, the actual item will be heard. So this one won't be discussing the merits of the issue itself, but whether or not it warrants a rehearing on it.
Okay.
And then the stormwater one is on, as we said before. So we've talked about that before. And that's pretty much it.
Okay. Sounds like a busy meeting.
It could be, yes.
Yeah. Okay, well, Larry, I want to thank you for all the information you shared with us about the Douglas County Board of Commissioners meeting. And that's what we do here on the County Manager's Report. I'm Lloyd Higuera for County Manager Larry Werner, and we'll see you next time on the County Manager's Report.